Kamala Harris makes her case beyond big cities. At campaign stops in southeastern Georgia and New Hampshire, the Democratic candidate tried to win voters in counties outside her party's strongholds. On a hot Thursday afternoon in late August, a downpour hit Savannah, Georgia, just as several thousand people were lining up to get into a campaign rally for Kamala Harris. Inside the Enmarket Arena, Love Train by the OJs was playing as some attendees in the security line forfeited their large umbrellas to the Secret Service, and others headed to the bathroom to wring out sodden clothes. A few rally-goers took advantage of a balcony space to set out their shoes and socks to dry, standing in barefoot conversation along the arena's railings as the clouds parted and the brutal afternoon sunshine returned. At the Democratic National Convention, a little more than a week earlier, Georgia had proved itself to have one of the most boisterous delegations during a surprise performance by the rapper Lil Jon in the middle of the roll call. Now, despite a wait of several hours, the energy had not abated. On the floor, a group did the electric slide to the 1980s club hit Set It Off. In the bleachers, older attendees boogied to disco classics, fanning themselves with black and white Harris Walls fans. The meme-to-merch pipeline was in overdrive. There were My Black Job is Voting t-shirts, Say It to My Face shirts, and a shirt that said Peaches and Coconuts. I asked a woman wearing a black tee hemmed with fringe and printed with Michelle Obama's Democratic Convention exhortation to do something. How had it made its way to her apparel so quickly? My niece made it for me, she said. According to her campaign, Harris' appearance that day, part of a 2-day bus tour in southeastern Georgia, where most counties have a history of voting Republican, would mark the first time a presidential candidate running in the general election had visited Savannah since Bill Clinton's bus tour of southern Georgia in the early 1990s. Democrats in Georgia are finally learning an important lesson. There is more to Georgia than just Atlanta, a statement from the Trump campaign on Harris' visit ready. Electoral projections show that the swing states of Georgia and Pennsylvania are crucial to winning the election. Harris's campaign has therefore been explicit that visits to places such as South Georgia and Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, are attempts to turn out voters outside the party's strongholds in cities and suburbs. In the battlegrounds, we are working to persuade moderate and Republican voters and cut Trump's margins in rural areas and red counties. A recent email from Jen O'Malley Dillon, Harris's campaign co-chair, said, as Joe Biden's running mate, Harris had already stopped in Savannah as part of the Fight for Reproductive Freedoms tour earlier in the year. In so doing, the campaign has attempted to redefine what a Democrat who lives in a predominantly Republican area might be drawn to. This is not Clinton's Bubba's for Bill tour, as his bus campaign was nicknamed, inspired by a phrase seen painted on the side of a barn, but rather an effort that seemed tailored to impress the rural adjacent Southern voter who likes a farm-to-table heirloom tomato salad. In Savannah, Harris attended a volunteer appreciation event at the Gray, a contemporary Southern restaurant with regionally sourced food in a renovated former Greyhound terminal, and stopped by for a slice of chocolate caramel cake at Dottie's Market, a cafe for the nostalgia seeker and the story lover. As its website puts it, what had been called a barnstorm through southeast Georgia seemed to be, with the exception of a visit to a high school band practice in the small city of Hinesville, largely a tour of Savannah area eateries. The morning of the Savannah rally, people wearing Harris-themed tees could be spotted around the city's historic downtown. A lot of people are very excited to know that she is here. Kevin Cook, who was wearing a shirt with an illustrated portrait of Harris on it, told me that morning outside the First Bryan Baptist Church. Cook, who is the music minister at the church, a black congregation founded in 1788, said he wasn't planning on attending. All the standing around is a physical challenge for him, but that he anticipated a big turnout. I expect it to be a glorious event, he said. You're going to see a lot of people that we haven't seen in years.